Hello Leo, and welcome to your new moon lunar cycle insight video for the cycle beginning with the new moon in Sagittarius on the 7th of December and culminating with the new moon solar eclipse in Capricorn on the 6th of January. So this is a much quieter lunar cycle than we've had for a while. We have Venus and Mercury moving out of their retrograde shadows, bringing an end to the series of retrogrades we've been undergoing since May this year. So this is a time of reintegration, of recalibration, of redesigning our pathway ahead as we move into the new year. So we begin the month with both Mercury and Venus coming back into Scorpio, going over the same degrees that they did in October. So this is a time when resolutions to issues that occurred during that time can happen, and it's a time when we can start to see the results of the work we put in during this period to redesign our thoughts and beliefs around ourselves, our sense of self-worth, and our highest visions for our life, because Mercury has been, of course, moving through Scorpio and Sagittarius during his journey. Venus was moving between Scorpio and Libra. So there's a big theme that's been going on connected with some of the key important areas of our lives, such as relationships and purpose. So as these planets retrace their steps, they move back into your 4th house, Leo. And this is the house of roots, of foundations. It's the house that's traditionally ruled over by Cancer and the moon. And it's the space that I like to refer to as the womb of the birth chart. So with this energy activated so much at the beginning of the month, we may be feeling the need to turn within, to rest, to give ourselves space, to be nurtured, to receive. We may be feeling the need to, be in our home, have some privacy, have some time alone, as we dive into the deep waters of memory. The 4th house can be the house of nostalgia. It can be the house of our ancestral and genetic lineage. So this can be a time when we are, working through old issues or old patterns, or perhaps those issues and patterns are coming to completion and clearing as we've been doing such deep work with them over the previous few months. It's an energy, particularly as Mercury is going to be in trine with Chiron, who's finishing up his stay in your 8th house in Pisces, and the North Node in Cancer in your 12th house. This can be a time when we're doing some deep emotional release, some deep cleansing of old karmic issues, particularly those connected with past lifetimes, those connected with the more taboo issues of sexuality, power, money, finances. We may be looking at where we've been leaking our energy and resources, giving our power away, or perhaps there are new insights and inspirations around how we can move forward in these areas as well. But we're looking at some deep truths, deep issues surfacing at the beginning of the month. As we head to the new moon on the 7th of December, we can see that there is a gathering of planets in your 5th house. So the Sun has joined Jupiter in this phase of your birth chart, and now the moon rebirths herself here. So this is a really lovely energy for you, Leo. So we talked about these 5th house energies of creativity, of inspiration last month as we discussed Jupiter's movement into this section of your birth chart. So this new moon here is like the rebirth of creativity for you, Leo. So it's taking place in the part of your birth chart which is naturally ruled over by your energies, ruled over by the sun. So this is a time for you of shining, of expansion, of new ideas about your pathway forward, pouring in. You know, if Mercury retrograding here over the past few weeks has caused you to hit a bit of a creative dry spot, we can now see this energy kind of reactivating within you. And you have perhaps been having to realign your creations or your expression of self with what feels deeply true and integrous to you. And now you can start to think about how you want to set these ideas into motion. But it's very important that the ideas that we have, we are willing to put the work in to ground them into reality. Because the squares to Neptune this month and Mars moving through Pisces can send us all into a little bit of a fantasy land. It can make us all, you know, it can create this energy of all of these amazing insights and downloads coming in, but there is no anchoring, there's no solid ground to lay them into. So we need to be sure that we are willing to put the work in, because the sun is going to move into Capricorn at the winter solstice this year, Leo, like it always does. And this is your 6th house. And wherever the sun is moving as he shifts into Capricorn, he is going to be high, whichever section of our birth chart he's moving into, whichever sign he is illuminating the lessons that Saturn and Pluto have been teaching us as they move through this area of the birth chart. So for you, that is the 6th house, the Virgo house of tangible, practical actions. So all of these creative awakenings that you've been having as the sun moves into Capricorn, you'll be tested to see if you can really take the day-to-day steps, you know, put in the mundane actions and efforts that can bring them into being. And we know that, you know, this is an energy you've been working with specifically since last solstice, the 21st of December 2017, with Saturn in this space of your birth chart. Everything that you want to manifest, Saturn is going to ask you, okay, are you willing to put the work into this? Are you willing to transform yourself? Are you willing to transform the routines, the day-to-day structures in your life to accommodate this new person that you are becoming, says Pluto? Are you willing to detoxify on a mental, spiritual and emotional level to be the purest vessel for the energy of Source to move through, so that you can step into the life of your dreams, so you can step into the person that you're becoming? Capricorn teaches us about the importance of focus, of diligence, of hard work, of taking responsibility for ourselves. And this is ever more activated in the 6th house. Both of these are very earthly energies, energies that are concerned with bringing spirit into matter. So take the inspirations, you know, we've got all of this watery psychic energy going on with the 8th and 4th and 12th house. And we've got these, you know, these fiery bursts of creativity coming through the 5th house. And then the 6th house says, okay, anchor it. As the sun moves into the 6th house on the 21st, just the day after, he's going to create an opposition to the full moon in Cancer, in your 12th house of your birth chart, Leo. So again, it's this watery psychic energy. The 12th house is the house of karmic cleansing. So we have this axis which is being illuminated for you, as I discussed in last month's videos, with the South Node in the 6th house alongside Pluto in Capricorn, and the North Node in the 12th house. These are houses of purification. The 12th house is spiritual purification, karmic cleansing, letting go, dissolution, shedding the old emotions. The 6th house, as I've mentioned, is, you know, doing that cleansing, that releasing of addictions, and toxins on a physical, practical level from the body, from the environment, from our lives in general. So the moon in Cancer is going to initiate a wave of cleansing for you. It's going to initiate emotional release. It might illuminate things that have been buried in your subconscious for a very long time. But also, you know, with this dreamy, watery energy that's going on, you're much more receptive to intuitive insights, to dreams, to visions. So like I said at the beginning, this can be a time when you can be within. You can be within, doing the meditation, doing the letting go, you know, creating space for these inspirations of the fifth house to pour through and to take form. So we need to really strike this balance as we move through the festive season, which is typically a time of, you know, sociability and excess. And we know that, Leo, you are a sign that likes to party in general. So this is a time for you to find the balance between being within, being expressive through the fifth house, and then as we head into January, taking responsibility for your life, particularly as we come up to this solar eclipse, new moon in Capricorn in January as well. We also have Mars coming into Aries as we enter the new year on the 1st of January. So again, you know, it's this beautiful, fiery energy. Mars comes into the 9th house for you, the Sagittarius house. He's going to be trining Jupiter in January. And of course, your sun, or whichever planet you have in Leo or rising sign, will be receiving a trine as well during this period. So we really have this kind of portal of potential, this energy of, you know, get up and go, bring those dreams into manifestation, make those ideas a reality, show the world who you are, Leo. Shine, be your authentic self. As a Leo, your job is to just express your true soul essence, and by doing that, you naturally uplift and call others into their own highest states of being as well, which is why, you know, you are associated with the sun and the energies of sovereignty, because you're so adept at these energies of self-expression when you're fully embracing your soul lesson of self-love. So a very, very exciting time for you, Leo. I feel quite energized just actually looking at your chart and talking about it. But let's pick a card for you. This month I'm using tarot for a change because we're in the dark, oracling waters as I'm doing these readings. You know, Mercury is stationing in Scorpio, Venus is in Scorpio. So we're going to use the tarot, and these are the Glastonbury Tarot by Lisa Tenzin Dolma. So let's pick a card for you for the upcoming lunar cycle, Leo. Ooh, a whole chunk just fell out. We can't really read that many for you, so I'm going to shuffle them back in. Interesting. So the card we have is the Five of Swords, and in this tarot deck the key word that is given is acceptance. And this makes me think of those watery energies that I've been discussing, you know, that we start the month off with. The 4th house, we have the full moon in the 12th house, we've got Chiron, Neptune, Mars in the 8th house. These are all very internal, psychological houses. It's a water trine. And water is the energy of surrender, of flow, of acceptance. So this to me is use that in meditation, allowing the memories, allowing the emotions to surface, allowing them to wash over you, to clear the pathway for you to really begin anew as we head into the new year. So it feels like a bit of a message, because you might, you know, this month feel that need to really be out and about and socializing, but don't neglect your inner world as well. Don't let the emotions build up, you know, keep clearing, keep transforming, even in amongst all of the excitement of the festive period. And if any of you are dealing with deep issues at the moment, you know, so maybe something's been triggered by the Scorpio energies that have been clearing your 4th house for the past couple of months. If there is something that is affecting you emotionally, that is weighing you down, then the quickest way that we can move through unpleasant emotions is by accepting them. We can't, if we try to do Sagittarius, if we try to do Pisces, we try and kind of bypass them or spiritualize them or numb them with addictions, then they get stuck inside ourselves. But if we accept what we're feeling and allow it to move through us in whichever way it wishes, however uncomfortable it feels, then we truly give ourselves permission to let go. So sit with it, Leo. Sit with whatever is arising for you and welcome it as a friend. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you wish to connect with me further, you can check the links below this video. And I am wishing you a beautiful, blessed, fiery and exciting lunar cycle annual season.